Our next speaker here for the Chiro AI Summit is Lauryn Brunclik. Lauryn is new to me. I've not yet met her, but I'm really excited to hear what she has to say. This is a new opportunity for us to really bring new people, new voices to our audience. So I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy Lauryn as she represents and presents to you how AI is helping us in marketing our practices to the profession using AI. Welcome, Lauryn.
Okay. Hi, I am Dr. Lauryn Brunclik. You probably already heard that from the bio that was probably just read. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. I don't really know when you're listening to this. I also don't know if I'm the first person who's going to be talking to you about AI today, or if I'm like the 40th person. Here's what I can say. I think this is going to be a unique talk in this AI summit. I am extremely excited to talk about this. This is something that is needed within our profession, and I do not believe that many, if anyone, is stepping in brave enough to say the things that I'm going to say out loud today. So welcome to the Rich Chiropractor Blueprint. I am Lauryn Brunclik, and we're going to talk about AI today. Hopefully that's all right. But we're also going to talk about cash flow, leadership, and one of my favorite topics: how to help burnt out providers turn into wealth building CEOs. Okay, so I don't want to ruin the surprise, but I am a little seasoned. Okay, I'm 39. I've been in practice for 15 years. And I've learned a lot. I've been on a lot of stages. I've been interviewing the greats of our profession for the last 6 years. And I have learned that we really have some issues. We really do. It's just us here. The lay people are not here. We don't need to be embarrassed. But this profession is full of a lot of broke ass CEOs. And you know what? Even calling you CEOs is sometimes that's generous. That is generous. Because as someone who has coached tons and tons, like hundreds of chiropractors that own their business, I can tell you that there's a difference between functioning like a CEO and just you happen to own the small business, right? There's a difference between a small business owner and a CEO. We can have great adjusters. We can have people that are vitalistic, that are helping heal people. But in general, and this is not unique to chiropractors, so I don't want to dog on us, healthcare providers tend to be terrible wealth builders. And this is because most chiropractors want to be rich deep down inside. But we were called to the profession to help anybody. One of my favorite things to say on stage or make a joke about is nobody becomes a chiropractor because they want to become rich, right? We become a chiropractor because we're called to helping people heal, like with their inside out, like innate intelligence. We love this. We want to be a small role witnessing the greatness of someone self-healing and self-regulating. And somewhere along the line, way past boards, way past deciding whether we're going to associate or start up, way past the time that we name our clinic, brand it, fix our location, get our website up and going, hire our first CA, start seeing new patients, way past then, we often realize, oh shit, I'm not making as much money as I thought I was going to be. And honestly, there's lots of reasons for that. Again, I think that's most of us, we don't even think about it. Most high schoolers, when we're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? By an adult. And we say the allowed three, right? A teacher, so we're educating people, a lawyer or a doctor of some sort. We get that nod of approval. And a lot of chiropractors, it takes a lot of effort to become one. You have to be pretty smart and driven and put up with a lot of stuff. And so we feed on that a little bit. And so we don't ask many questions. We see people on stage and they love this. And so we're like, well, you love this. You're happy. You must be doing pretty well. Like, it is just assumed that by becoming a chiropractor, the profession is going to take care of you. And a lot of times this is a very subconscious decision of what does that mean? But a lot of times it has to do with not just I'm going to care for patients, but like this profession is going to take care of me financially as well, right? I'm going to commit my life to helping people. I'm not going to have to stress about buying presents for my kids for Christmas, or if my engine in my car, goes out. Like I'm not going to need to worry about that. But the problem is we get into practice, and a lot of us, we get going, we get through the hustle stage, and right around the time that we hit our cap financially, and for some of us, that's different. There are plenty of chiropractors that are bringing home 200,000, 400,000, 500, we'll see. Not many of you are bringing home 700,000 a year. Your clinic might be seven figures, right? Like, we all have that like story of talking to someone and they're like, oh, I have a 7-figure clinic. Great. And what is your overhead, right? So take home is a little different, but like, we get to whatever our ceiling is where we get comfortable. And then we just sit from the sidelines and we watch our peers achieve something that inside we want to. And again, I want to ask for permission. Maybe I should have started with this on the first slide. Hi, I'm Dr. Lauryn, and I say the things that a lot of people aren't willing to say out loud, even to themselves. And so hopefully, if you are easily offended by this point, you're still here. I haven't cursed you away because I do swear a little bit. I apologize. But I think that if we keep going, having the same conversations on the same stages, and nobody is starting to raise their hand and say, hey, we have a little bit of an issue, we as chiropractors are going to keep hitting the same ceiling forever and ever. So the fact of the matter is, okay, some of us do need more passion. But most of us, you're here. Most of us have the passion for this profession. We have the love of serving. You don't need to convince us that chiropractic is awesome. Now, a lot of you think that more new patients are what is going to solve your problems in 2026. And if the one thing you take away from today is that is a lie that is getting in your way to creating more wealth. And the longer you hold on to that lie, the longer it's going to take before you achieve these financial goals that you want to. So if the only thing you take away from today is that new patients is a tiny piece of the puzzle to becoming super successful in this. What we need is more leverage. And today we are going to use AI to leverage the ever-living daylights out of your clinic to create what's possible for you and your spouse and creating this life you deserve. Can we just say that out loud? Like, for a second, if you're a note taker, write this down. You deserve to live an abundant life. Like, you do one of the greatest professions of all time. You don't need to also be a martyr, okay? You can serve and create an amazing life financially in the process. Okay, so let's take a little step back. Who I am. So this is funny to me because this is a different audience than I normally speak to. If you are a male and you don't know who I am, That's fine. Go to the nearest female chiropractor and ask them. So like I said, I am a chiropractor of 15 years. That's my husband of 15 years also, not a chiropractor. I am smart with the debt to income ratio. It does not work out so well when we're traveling though, because he can't adjust me and he's the only one who gets adjusted. But I married a marketing and finance consultant, which worked out pretty well. So we are the owner of two seven-figure companies, one of them being our cash chiropractic clinic. I think that's important to throw the word cash in there because that is a different journey, right, than an insurance. It has different hurdles. Not that insurance doesn't have its own hurdles, but like it's just an important differentiator. And I live in a town of 9,000 people. So that's another one where 60% of the people are on Medicaid. So this is not like I built a clinic in, suburban Dallas, rich suburb. Like, nope, this is me scrappy in a town of 9,000 in northern Wisconsin, where 60% are on Medicaid, building this vitalistic wellness practice. So I did chiropractic for a lot. I still adjust. I adjust 10 hours a week, and I run our team of docs. But travel is really, really important to me. It has to be because I live, like I said, in a tiny town. And so I do try to get out of it often. So there's a lot of freedom. Creating the second company, which is my online personal brand, where I help healthcare providers diversify their wealth, become the rich doctor they want to, and start an online brand. That is the other company. And the reason I love that is because I love working. I am a workaholic. But ultimately, there was a point in the profession where the monotony of what was happening wasn't serving me anymore. It wasn't lighting me up. And so I wanted to pull back so I had more time and creativity to build other avenues. And I wasn't really sure of what that was going to look like. It started with a podcast. It turned into a whole thing. But now I love the ability that I can make money from anywhere. I love that our streams of income are building. I'm 39 and I'm on track to be fully retired by 47. So, between my husband and I, we are doing everything in our clinic, our companies, and our wealth portfolio to make that happen. Now, will I actually retire? No, but I can. And so the 8 CEO pillars that we're going to talk through today, these were absolutely essential in my journey towards building a 7-figure clinic that was not profitable at all, that was not, was on paper doing well, but was not delivering the wealth that I thought it should have, right? I spent year after year, you start out and you hustle. Okay, you're seeing 100 patients a week, but you're not making the lifestyle and revenue you want. Well, you got to double it, all right? Now I'm seeing 200 patients a week, not at the revenue I want yet, not at the lifestyle I want yet. Okay, double it. Okay, double it. Okay, double it. And this was really my story for the first 7 to 10 years of practice was I'm not there yet. I'm not living the comfortable life yet. And when I got to the point where we had a team of 11 and we were doing the 7-figure, and I was like, and the clinic wasn't as profitable as it should have been, and I still wasn't there. And I was like, do I have to double this? Do I have to have 22 employees? Do I have to have 6 clinics? Do I have to get to 2 million a year before I can start living this rich life that I want to live? And for some people, what I just said, they're like, heck yeah, I have 6 clinics. I have 30 employees. That's good on you. That sounded exhausting to me. And I didn't want to keep climbing that ladder in that way. And so I took a lot of what I'm going to talk about today and modified it. Now, the AI amplification process, what I'll tell you is that I graduated in 2010. Okay. I got to 7 figures with a Facebook page. There was no AI. We barely did it with Instagram, right? So I am not the oldest school doc that you will hear in this AI Summit, but I sure as heck am not a young pup. I am not tech savvy either. This is a thing where my adoring husband in this photo, he's the early adopter. He's the one who really leaned into AI 4 years ago, when most of us had no idea this was even a thing. And it's kind of dragged me along and has incorporated it. Now it is in every single one of our employees' hands. And it has amplified both of our businesses to like 100x. And so I hope today, for those of you that see yourself more in my situation, that you're getting started. You signed up for this because you're like, I'm using AI, but I know I'm not using it as much. My goal isn't just to show you this one amazing tool that I created. My goal is to help you shift how you're thinking about AI and what it can do to leverage the life that you want to build financially. So why I'm here, nobody teaches chiropractors that it's okay to want to be wealthy. And that's problem one. We aren't taught how to, or honestly, it's kind of almost taught as shameful to talk about this. What is wrong with you that just serving isn't enough? As a profession, we are decades behind, and we need to fix this, because if we continue to pretend that becoming rich isn't something that we deserve, if we want to claim it, we are going to continue to see more and more burnout. And we have right now, the stats are atrocious. 50% of chiropractors aren't practicing 5 years later. Like, this is an issue. That's according to Chiro Economics, by the way. So you deserve, for those of you who are interested, and for those of you who are just watching and you're like, kind of like crossing your arms right now. And I'm like, I don't know who this chick is. I don't like what she is how she's talking about our profession. I don't like that she keeps using the word rich. We should be focused on this, but you're still here. I appreciate you still being here, and just hear me out. Okay, so screenshot this. This is everything I'm going to talk about today. The 8 pillars of a rich chiropractor. Now, here's the deal. These are not specific to chiropractic. And that's kind of like secret number one, is that the pillars to becoming rich are universal. Okay. Maybe wealth beyond the adjusting table. We might modify that title a little bit there. If you're a dentist or a veterinarian, or you're just an entrepreneur of sorts. But ultimately, I did not invent these. The smartest, wealthiest people for decades and decades who have been teaching outside of our profession, who have been teaching at colleges, in books, like have podcasts. These are the essentials to what it takes. This is the roadmap. Do the things. They're not easy. It's easier said than done. But if you do this, and you do this repeatedly with grit and hustle, you will develop the life that you want here. So unshakable pillar number one, the unshakable vision. So I am going to go into this a little bit more because this is so important, but not right now. I'm going to get through all 8, and then I'm going to do a deep dive into unshakable vision and AI. Now, you're going to see at the bottom of these AI tool number 1, number 2, I think we have 6 of them. So how I've gotten here is through my own fault learning lessons. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I started realizing that other chiropractors needed to learn this as well, and that I could help them get to their goals of their clinic and their finances there faster, just by avoiding some of the mistakes that we've made. And so my brilliant consultant husband and I developed a program called the Uncharted CEO. And this is a 90-day program. I'm going to talk about it later, but it's starting in January. And this program, really in the last year, we have added all of these AI tools. So it started 4 years ago. There was no AI in it in the beginning. And the most recent graduating class in July that went through the program got to utilize all of these tools that we poured into it, and the results that they have gotten, again, like, we know this. We know now that those that are using AI are getting there faster. So the unshakable vision is pillar number one. And this is a really important component of the 90-day program. Okay. Uncharted CEO. And this has to do with the fact that I mentioned a lot of people can say they want wealth, but not many people can get there. And that's because this requires discipline, not motivation. A lot of people say like, oh, I want to be rich. That's not enough to get there. That is like barely the starting point. You need to be making hard decisions. You need to have a clear vision, and you need to make sure that spending is aligned with these goals, right? Like so often as chiropractors, the second we get our head above water and we can financially afford, we can go to Costco and not stress out too much, we're spending. So a why that is strong enough to survive is so essential. So that's why in the program, AI tool number 1 is a vision times 10 AI guided life design that is there to help you really get to the core of your why. So on those hard days where you are, like looking at your quarterly numbers and you're frustrated, you understand why you're doing all of this. So pillar number 2, this is so unique to this program, and I have yet to see this in any program, is a power partner alignment. This means if you are married, I don't care if you get there, if you become rich, but it's at the expense of your marriage, you failed miserably. We have way too many successful chiropractors on stages that when you know the ins and outs of what it took to build what they built, it was at the expense of their family and their marriage. And I'm not going to stand for that anymore. I believe in having a unified financial decision and shared goals. So in our second tool that we have in the 90-day program is the Uncharted CEO Wealth GPT. So this helps you and your spouse create an investment philosophy and wealth blueprint that you both can come back to year over year and going like, this is what we decided together. The conversations that happen inside the program because of this GPT literally bring tears to my eyes because people are so happy that the conversations are happening for the first time ever in their 30s and 40s, and they know they're going to get to retirement faster because of that. Pillar number 3 is an elite tax strategy. So this is an essential part of the program. You need to be keeping as much money as possible. Okay. This is talking about like, great, revenue is great, but what are you really taking home? This is proactive planning and is going to accelerate that wealth as your taxes start to shrink. We're doing legal stuff here, but AI tool number 3 is, can I write this off GPT? This is a trained tool to help you think through what is the paperwork structure, the paper trail you need. So your accountant and your tax planner will be happy and you are maximizing what you are keeping. Pillar number 4 is the CEO operating system. So if you have not read Traction, right? I don't know if you've been living under a rock, but the EOS tools in Traction are the number 1 tried and true core principles to a CEO operating system in your clinic. These principles are what will leverage you or turn you from a small business owner into an actual CEO. This is the stuff that scales. This is the stuff that actually gives you the time freedom. Do you know how many rich chiropractors I've talked to that their clinic absolutely depends on them? They're financially doing well, but they can't take a vacation. Let me remind you, I spend 3 months a year on vacation and I couldn't do it without a proper operating system. So our tool number 4 that we have in the 90-day program is an EOS project manager. This is a thing that will take 4 to 6 hours for you to build and will give you 1 to 2 hours back of your life per week minimum. Pillar number 5 to becoming a rich chiropractor is you need to look at wealth beyond the clinic. Okay, this pisses people off when I say this, but the fact of the matter is the richest chiropractors you know did not get there on new patients alone. They became wealthy. They understood cash flow, but then it's what they did with that wealth that started to separate them by leaps and bounds from their colleagues. We are talking real estate. We are talking tax efficient investing. We are talking infinite banking. We are talking about building net worth outside the clinic, diversifying, getting the eggs outside of your basket of just one. Okay. So this is AI tool number 5 that's in the 90-day program. And because real estate, it's sexy. And we have an entire module all about real estate in the program. But this is tool number 5 of looking at a property through the lens. The custom analyzer knows that you are a doctor who is looking for specific investment properties and will look and see whether this is going to cash flow positively for you and how to think about this potential deal. Number 6 is a profit multiplier framework. So ultimately, there's only 4 ways a clinic grows, and most chiros are not using them strategically. So in the multiplier framework, we are going to look at all 4 of how to increase your revenue $100,000 to $250,000 per year. Okay, a true CEO is going to grow the revenue on purpose, not just by hoping that more new patients changes their profit margins. New patients will not change your profit margins. If your profit margins are broke, it's not going to work. Okay. So that's why it's essential in our AI tool number 6 is our profit leak analyzer. This is a specific tool where you can upload your P&Ls and it will comb through and tell you where you fall, where are some of the most common issues in your personal P&L, and where to start investing your time. Pillar number 7, AI as the force. This is less about a tool and this is more about a mindset, okay? AI is going to create the largest divide in chiropractic history. It is. This is not universal. This is not specific to chiropractic. This is a universal truth in every profession. It is going to separate the haves from the have-nots. This mindset will take you from, it's faster if I just do it myself, I can do it better, to helping you shift your mind frame to, I'm going to invest 2 to 3 hours in fixing this now to change the entire trajectory and scalability of our clinic and how our clinic functions. Pillar 8, we go into in the program. Oh my gosh, there's just not enough time, you guys. Like I could talk for, well, I do. I talk for over an hour on each of these pillars in the 90-day program, but always be preparing for an exit. We have people who are only 3 years into the program and they're doing amazing, but we are talking to them about how to think about their clinic like an asset, because that is what the wealthy do. They may not sell their clinic for 20, 30 years, but 17% of chiropractic clinics fail or actually sell. That means 83% fail at being what most chiropractors think is going to be their retirement plan. Okay. So always preparing and thinking about your clinic like an asset. So let's go into unshakable vision a little bit more. Okay. This is, like I said, this is the thing that most chiropractors do not put enough time in. They just obsess over what their clinic is going to look like and what they're going to serve, but then they stop on envisioning what is possible for their life. And it's because they don't actually believe they deserve it. Okay. So first you need to decide that you do deserve this quality of life if you want it. You do not have to claim it. You do not have to. But this wealth is going to require a long-term focus. And with it, you are going to need to have a vision that is beyond, I just want to be rich. That's not good enough. This needs to be your deepest rooted why of serving and learning how to connect, how to switch all of your money mindset fuckeries that you have that you don't even know you have, so you can start making strategic decisions towards that long-term wealth. Then AI, like I said, this is helping you change from the I can do this better myself. That is where so many chiropractors land. They are in this, I'll just do it myself. I can just adjust the patient better myself, so I'm not going to teach the associate how to do this. I can just do it better myself, so I'm not going to teach my front desk how to do this. And you may develop the wealth, but then you still have the handcuffs on you to the freedom away from your clinic. teaching you how to think about AI, not just as a single tool. There are lots of people who are in this summit who are teaching you or selling you a tool, and that's fantastic. I think there's a gazillion tools that we use and are paying other companies for, and I encourage you to do the same. But if you think a single tool is going to come in and be the shift in you and your partner's life, if you think a single AI tool, you're going to pay someone $200 a month and that tool is going to actually shift your money mindset and help you create a strategy to becoming rich, then you're fooling yourself. We have to think about AI in every aspect of what it's possible of doing. So this is in your CEO systems, but this is truly just giving you the leverage without adding payroll, right? This is going to remove the overwhelm. AI is the silver thread in all of the pillars because it's a 90-day program. Now, you're not going to get rich in 90 days. I think we all know that, right? Like this is, if you think I was selling you a 90-day get rich quick thing, it's not. But this is going to streamline everything. You're putting intention 2 to 3 hours a week in this program that allows a system to be running in the background. So year after year, your net worth continues to grow without the stress of you constantly being chained in the clinic. Okay. So those who continue to go through this summit and just use AI as a toy, sign up for a bunch of things. Oh, honey, I signed up for another $100 thing. Like, oh, this is great. They're going to get left behind because you're just going to be constantly waiting for other people to solve your problems with a new tool. Those who really understand that AI is more than a toy, and this is a mindset around becoming this can help you become a CEO. Those are the ones that are going to get rich. So the Uncharted CEO, this is a program I've been running for over 5 years. I've helped hundreds of chiropractors go through this. It's a 90-day program for clinic owners. The focus is wealth, leadership, cash flow systems, and AI is in almost every single one of the 8 pillars. Everything from talking to yourself and getting your unshakable vision, to talking to your spouse, to talking to your team and getting your team on board. Every step of the way, we're going to teach you how to create your own chat, how to create your own system that you are not paying someone monthly to borrow. This is a system. Now you understand how to build these things. Okay. This is for chiropractors who are ready to become rich CEOs. 8 in-depth modules. Oh my gosh, I could talk forever, but there's an hour plus on each of the topics that we just talked about. The tools and automations are incredible. There's leadership frameworks, profit calculators. We go way into real estate. We bring in experts on tax strategy. And truly, at the end, you will have you and your partner. And that's the most important part about this is not just about you. If you want to build a wealth lifestyle, you have to do this with your partner. You will get there faster together than you just trying to do this on your own. So we encourage your spouse, whether they're a chiropractor or not, to watch the trainings with you. They're going to love the back and forth that Kirby and I have. That's my husband, by the way, Kirby. Him being a non-chiropractor and what he brings to the equation. This is like no other. This is not practice management. This is truly a change your mindset for 90 days and then watch it multiply. So specific to the AI Summit. So not everybody qualifies for this program. I don't want somebody who's not ready to waste their money on this. This is a $7,500 program. There is a payment plan, okay? But you guys get $1,200 off by booking a call with me, but there's a limited time. So if you scan the QR code, it will take you to the landing page where there's a ton more about the program. You can book a call there. All right. Now, this clarity call, I'm not there to sell you. I'm there to talk to you about whether this is actually the right step for you starting in January. If you are not accepted into the program, or we just determine it's not a good fit for you, you are still going to get an additional 7-minute training where I deep dive into one of these pillars even more. That is just going to be my gift for your time with me. We're only accepting 40 people into the program. Now, technically, the doors are not open to this. Okay. So the rest of the public, will not have access to buying this program until the middle of January, like January 19th. So you are getting a huge step up on a discount and on these limited spots. And I am just so honored. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you enjoy the rest of the summit. What an amazing idea. And I'm just so proud of you for being here. If you are convinced that now is not the right time for you to build your wealth in January, or maybe you're a student, maybe you're an associate, and you know that like you don't qualify for this, I still would love to connect with you. Find me on Instagram. That is the number one way, at Dr. Lauryn B on Instagram. Or check out, if you haven't listened to my podcast, She Slays the Day, we are going on 340 episodes. Bo Pierce, who was one of the creators of this summit, was just recently on. Go back and listen. It was an amazing call. And I would love for you to become a listener to the podcast. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the summit.
If you want the best deals on products and services, along with some of the best speakers in chiropractic, you're going to want to register for our next summit coming up soon. Click on down below and register today.